And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that lovely Pictionary session between Cyril and Showtime. I will say Cyril pretty good at drawing, and I can't believe he guessed that was a void ray. By the way, no shot. I mean, no shot. But we have the finalized bracket here. We have Group A. We have Clem, ByuN, Zown, Solar, and many others. We'll get into it. So, yo, we got State. We got Roddy and State on the casting couch. You do love it to see it here as we're getting ready for our first series of the group stage. The play-in stage is over, and we have both Big Gabe alongside ByuN advancing on through the play-in stage, and we're going to be featuring ByuN in his first series of the groups against Clem, of all players. Let's go. They did say that it was going to be ByuN versus Cyril during the winners interview, but they did misspeak. It was incorrect. The first placing player out of the play-in stage goes up against Clem. The second one, it goes up against Cyril. So there's going to be ByuN versus Clem and Cyril versus Big Gabe versus Hero Marine, and of course we have our TVP. Now, what I was going to get to before the break was just talking about the current match that we're about to indulge in. If there, I mean, again, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are maybe watching that only watch EWC, that maybe they watch like only the big tournaments like Esports World Cup or DreamHack, and maybe they don't watch our regular broadcast here. Oh.
There are few tournaments in StarCraft as esteemed as the GSL, a place where legends were forged. This year serves also as a gateway to the Esports World Cup. The first one to step through is none other than the smiling assassin himself, Hero. In May, he first topped his group after defeating Cure and ByuN, then later in the playoffs, took down Gumiho.
Hero has just wiped the floor with his Terran army. He is going to the GSL Codes Finals.
Only to battle Cure once again in the grand final through all 7 maps to finally secure his win in Season 1, together with the Esports World Cup spot.
GG! Hero is your GSL Codes champion!
그게 비시즌 동안 제가 다른 선수도 안 할 때 열심히 해서 이뤄낸 다시 EWC 기간 동안 굉장히 많은 연습을 했고 자신감도 많이 붙었던 것 같아요, 지금.
In Season 2, all eyes were on Classic, who displayed a strong performance and made it all the way to the final. There, he had to battle Rogue, who earlier was able to stop Hero in the semis. They went the distance, but in the end, Classic triumphed.
GG! Classic is your GSL Codes champion!
However, due to the Protoss having already grabbed his spot at DreamHack Dallas, it was Rogue who signed his ticket to Riyadh.
군대 가기 전에는 제가 되게 잘했던 선수였어가지고 진출했던 게 이제 그래도 되게 그동안 열심히 한 거에 보답하는 것 같아서 되게 뜻깊었던 것 같아요.
Now, let's turn our attention to BelgiumGen's Elite Star Azagora 2025, our last offline qualifier, where placing 4th is not necessarily a bad thing. The bracket was a true battle of attrition, but as the dust settled, the familiar faces prevailed, like Clem, the champion, Cyril, and Zown. All 3 had already booked their spot at the Esports World Cup, meaning fortune smiled upon Showtime, who was earlier defeated by the Finnish Phenom.
Getting 4th place at Star Zagara was definitely not a bad thing. I mean, qualifying was pretty much why I went to the tournament. It was like the main goal, so yeah, I was very happy with 4th place.
Let's go. Interesting that we only showcased really GSL and Star Zagora with that little like segment. I'm sure they're going to be getting into the DreamHack portion at some point as well, and going over the qualifiers. But it was nice. It was nice to hear from our players. Nice to hear from Hero, from Rogue, from Classic, and from the others as well. But what we were getting at, of course, is that Clem does not play TvT. I was trying to get that 3 different times. Clem does not play Terran versus Terran. I did see some people asking in the chat, like, Clem is going to play Protoss? Yes. Clem, he has not played TvT in like 8 months. Unironically, it's been like 8 months, maybe even more than that, since Clem last played TvT. He last played Terran versus Terran against Ryung in December. It was like beginning of December at Lima League. And he only played it for 1 game, then he switched to Protoss. That was like the last time he played Terran. That's the last time we played the TvT matchup, and I'm excited to see how he performs against ByuN here, bearing in mind that, of course, Clem, he has beaten every Terran in the world with his Protoss except for Maru, just because I haven't played. So Clem, he has some killer PvT. Vidas are in. We get rid of Incorporeal, Lost Fantasy, and Medialica, and some of the other maps as well. But we are now jumping into our fresh best of 3, bearing in mind, at least for today, purely best of 3s. Purely best of 3s. Let's go. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to catch up. There we go. So the Vitas were Incorporeal, Lost Fantasy, Magnatha, Ultra Love, Leylines, and Pylon. Looks like the map order is gonna be Game 1 Torches, which is crazy, by the way. So we're gonna get into Torches, Persephone, and Tokamak. Interesting. Now, when it comes to this matchup, ByuN is hyper aggressive. I say hyper aggressive. That does not mean all in. I mentioned before, ByuN, he's not a player that does go for all-ins very often at all, but he goes for a lot of timing attacks. That's where he does thrive, going for these timing attacks, going for drop play, going for multi-pronged aggression, and Clem has been having a hard time keeping up. We've been featuring a lot of Clem versus ByuN as of late in this matchup, and Clem has been having a bit of a harder time against ByuN just because ByuN's style is so unique. So many players are so much more prone and so much more akin to going for these two-base all-ins, two-base aggression. ByuN goes for later aggression, less committed play, goes for these early move-outs without stim, with early tank pushes, for example, into follow-up play, and we saw that against Estrella, right? We saw that against Estrella. We saw Estrella had a really hard time keeping up with ByuN's aggression, with his timing attacks, and we'll see if Clem can fare better than Estrella. We'll see. We shall see. As we have seen some weak points in Clem's PvT, but I also want to mention that Clem has spent a lot of time in Korea.
There we go. And we have our players in the group stage now. Just gonna give you a quick rundown. 2 keys were crushed by the same player. It was all done by Hero Marine, Big Game himself, and he makes it into the next stage. But now, we have our first match of the group stage. Rachel?
Absolutely, we're heading into that, and just a little update. The way that is done is our group placements in the bracket from our play-in is randomized, not by seed. So, turns out ByuN is going to be facing off against Clem for this next match. Something he seems relieved by, but I don't understand that at all. Clem's so scary, so if we're prepared, let's bring him on out.
That we shall. First match of the day. It's none other than Clem versus ByuN.
I would agree with ByuN. Like, as I mentioned before, I do favor ByuN against Clem
From
more
Team
so than
Liquid,
against
the
Serral.
defending champion of EWC and StarCraft 2, it's Clem.
And up against him, a Terran with unmatched control and fearless micro, bringing chaos to the battlefield, one stim at a time.
He's gonna say his name. There we go. I was about to say, it looks like they didn't know if they were going to shake.
The stage is set, and I believe we are now ready to begin the group stage of StarCraft 2 here at EWC. So let's head on over to our casters.
Yeah, a little bit awkward. It looked like ByuN and Clem, they didn't know if they were meant to shake or not, like how that was meant to work. But they got there in the end. They got there. But let's go. Let's go. We're jumping into our TVP. Jumping into our Terran versus Protoss. Now, what I was also going to bring up towards the end there was that Clem, he has been spending the last month in Korea, and partly that is also help boost and to help bolster and foster his Protoss versus Terran. Clem, he did jump onto the Comeback TV podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he was discussing that, talking about how he was getting very little PvT practice in Europe just because there are so few Terrans at his level to actually practice with. He spoke about how, like, Gabe was around and he could play, sure, but Spirit was less willing to play a lot of TVP. He was less excited about that matchup, and as I'm sure you're aware, a lot of the big Terrans are not in Europe, they're in Korea. ByuN, Bunny, Gumiho, Maru, Ryung, and many others. They're all in South Korea. They're all in South Korea, they're not in Europe, so again, traveling to Korea does benefit Clem's PvT, and we'll see how heavily that ladder, that practice, that regiment has come into play. It will be showcased here and now. How strong has his PvT gotten from the last time we've seen it? Let's go. I'm ready for it. Let's jump in. As game 1 is on Torches. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Torches, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the French Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. It is Clem for Team Liquid. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. You could make an argument that Clem has the best PvT in the world, but I would say that, as I mentioned before, that ByuN has shown some weakness in Clem's Protoss in recent times, in recent weeks. So we'll see if ByuN can bring him down, as ByuN does open up with a proxy Rax in the natural. Cheeky build out of ByuN. Okay. Going for the proxy in the natural base, but again, the natural's that much larger on this map, so Clem moves out with the probe scout. He will miss the proxy. And ByuN opening up with some cheese, opening up with some aggression, and so far completely unscouted. Let's go. Let us go. As the Reaper is on the way. Clem, of course, he scouts, he confirms that the Rax is missing, he sees double gas opener. Clem trying to piece together what's going on. Does still make the initial zealot, I mean he's forced to. Thanks to this eBay. And he'll be able to buy some time, dance with the initial Reaper. Cybercore's almost done. And here comes that Reaper. Making his way to the middle line. It's going to be up to Clem's control here to preserve his probes. So far, so good. Does kite back. Does kite well, and he's holding. Yeah, he does hold. Doesn't lose any workers. The Stalker has arrived, and Clem, he will shut this down. He will force this back. This does force a reaction. Of course, Clem's Nexus is delayed. He was forced to make a Zealot as well, so he's forcing inefficiencies out of Clem, but Clem overall, he holds. He holds, doesn't lose anything. So far, nice reaction. Reaper does, oh, actually run past the Stalker. Barely gets away. Does pull out, does get away. And the game will continue. Let's go. Just the one probe going down. So here we go. It's catching him in chat. Clearly time for Clem to pull out TVT cheese. No, not at all. Like, again, I favorite Clem's PvT over his TVT. I think a lot of people that maybe don't watch a lot of StarCrafts, they question Clem, like, off-racing, but, like, at this point, I wouldn't say it's his off-race. Like, I would say, again, like, he plays it enough that it's, like, almost his main race, specifically for this matchup. Like, he devotes a lot of time to playing Protoss. For sure. But here we go. Does go for the Twilight Council, going into Blink. Blink-based opener out of Clem. Like, at this point for Clem, it would be shocking if he ever did play TvT. Like, that's when it's crazy. Like, that's that's when it's like, yo, Clem, are we sure about this? I'd be more concerned about that, for sure. If he ever whips out the Terran, he's crazy, but he's crazy. As behind this is going for the third gateway and the Robo on 2 bases before the third. So very safe play out of Clem. Double Cyclone jump into the mineral line. Stalker's trying to keep up. Blink is not quite yet done. But he does break the lock on. Nice control here out of Clem. Very nice. He pulls back. Doesn't lose any Stalkers, I should say. We'll lose 2 probes. But Clem does hold. Behind this, early tank production. It looks like ByuN is getting ready for an early tank push. As he's building up his bio. Stim is on the way. And Clem, he's aware at least. He's aware of the tank. Does move out. Blinks on forward, going for the tank. It's going to be close here. The repairs are on point, and the tank still goes down. Yeah, massive pickoff takes down the tank. Stalker's going to get punished, though. And one Stalker does go down. I'll still say that's a better trade for Clem. Bearing in mind that it did seem like ByuN was getting ready for an earlier tank push, but already one tank goes down. That will, I mean, that will weaken the push. As ByuN is stuck at home. Speaking of, back at home, we do see Clem has yet to expand. He's playing very much on 2 bases. Throwing down more gateways. See Clem poking back in with the Observer. Again, you have to be so careful with his Observer. One wrong move and you will lose it. You will lose it, will get caught. So Clem being so careful. Behind this, finally does expand. A bit of a later third base. Again, much later third base out of Clem. Just playing a lot safer. Observer gets caught. We spoke about it. You have to be so careful and it does go down. Ooh, as he does spot the move out. Nicely done. Back up, Observer did spot the drop. Clem racing back. Oh, as he does miss it. Does fail to intercept. ByuN pivoting back around, head towards the main. Storm is on the way. Bold move out of Clem, going to Storm, not Colossus. And ByuN, he is still yet to expand. I could be mistaken, but I don't think we've seen a third CC yet. Yeah, no third CC. But remember, Clem, his own third base was also delayed. So if ByuN were to push out, Clem, he'd be ready for it. Was that an immortal? No, oh, no shot. Yeah, nah, Clem. Miss Rally here, the immortal. I mean, he does go for the classic Protoss move where the rally is set for the Observer. So he makes an immortal and does rally across the map. Oh, likewise does force a morphin of an Archon. And here comes ByuN. ByuN rallying everything across the map. Nice Storm. Very nice. Jesus. The brute on the Storms. He shuts down the ByuN. Clem holds. Yeah, Clem, he holds. He shuts down the push. Despite the shaky start here, despite losing the Immortal, Clem, he shuts down the army. He defends. And ByuN gets forced back. And what's scary here is that, remember, ByuN, he was dedicated on 2 bases. His third base was so late. I mean, he doesn't even have one. Not yet. Yeah, no third. And ByuN is in danger. He's in danger. He's in trouble. Immortal's going to be going down. The boys are being pulled into an Archon. And the Archon does wreak havoc here. At the same time, drop across the map. A couple of pros going to be falling, but this is critical damage here that Clem is dealing. And Clem is going for the kill. He's going for the kill, going for the throats. Boys are pulled into the Archons. Mine shots don't go off. GG gets called, and Clem takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. There were definitely some missteps, some mistakes there from Clem, like losing the Immortal, but overall he shut down the early game. I was very impressed here with how Clem was able to do with the proxy. Remember, he didn't lose a single probe, he didn't lose a single worker, and remember, he punished it so hard by taking down the first tank. And remember, despite the first tank going down, ByuN never expanded. He never got a third CC. ByuN was basically 2 base all in. So for that move out, for that push to fall and to fail as hard as it did, that was game then and there. That was game then and there. Despite catching the Immortal, ByuN, he got caught out completely. The Storms were brutal. And Clem takes a lead. Clem does take a lead. And Clem is 1 game away from claiming the series. ByuN, he has to fight back here and now to have a chance at making it through into the next round. Outside of just the play, though, I do want to say that Clem, he almost hard countered ByuN. I was emphasizing so much how Clem was delaying his third heavily. He delayed his third base quite heavily. He got up to 6 gateways on 2 bases. Really safe play out of Clem, anticipating that ByuN would push on 2. Right? Like if he had cut production, if he had taken a faster expansion, then Clem would have been in a worse position. But he was playing so safe and he read ByuN like a book. Now here we go, we're getting into game 2. And we'll see if ByuN can force the ace match. The pressure is on. Here we go. It'd be interesting if he plays CVC just to throw other turns off, though. I don't know if I would agree with that. Like, just because I favor all the other Terrans, like in TvT is the thing. But here we go, we're getting into the next matchup. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have our South Korean Terran player. It is going to be ByuN for Shopify. The pressure is on. In the top left, we have the French Protoss for Team Liquid, Clem. One game away from claiming the series. Let's go. As we opening up with a much more committed Proxy. Last game it was a single ranks in the natural. This time Proxy 2 racks. Let's go. So 2 racks Reaper here out of ByuN. Much more committed. Much more aggressive. Clem, he'll move in with the Pro Scouts. He will confirm that the racks is missing. But can he shut it down? Checks the gases. Does check the gases. Confirms only 1. Zealot's on the way, so you can see Clem is making the safety. Oh no! It does make the safety Zealot, and Clem, he does get away. Whew. Yeah, it does get away. Does force some inefficiencies. Yeah, you can see there the income advantage for Clem. As ByuN pulled the boys. And the Reapers are coming. We got 2 racks Reaper here by ByuN. Clem going back in. Clem. Clem gets away. ByuN, we gotta calm down, Papi. Twice now. A 3rd time. Oh no, he does get it finally, but it took 3 times here. He had to pull the boy 3 times. That was not worth it. That was not worth it. In the end, Clemmy deals more damage. Likewise, you can see his scouting is checking here for the Proxy. ByuN is footing back. He's already transitioning. Like, ByuN is already expanding. These Reapers, they might be able to find some damage, but for the most part, Clem is being safe. Shield by the natural. Still scouting for Proxies. And he finds it. Yeah, Clem, he does find it. Does find the racks. Reapers have been amassing. Now this CC on the low ground for ByuN is in danger. It is in danger right now, and the armies are missing each other, actually. Uh-oh. So on the one hand, Clem, he can delay the CC, maybe even cancel, at least delay. But the Reapers are revealed. Clem is racing back, at least with his initial reinforcing Stalker. But across the map, he does hit the natural. Yeah, Bunker's under fire. CC is soon to complete. Can he delay? Looks like he will. Yeah, he does get into the mineral line. He does delay. You can see the SCVs are going down. There it is, picture in picture. A stronger start for Clem. And ByuN is in a really rough position. Things are looking brutal here for ByuN. No shot. Reactors on the way. Can he force a cancel? No shot. The Reapers are racing back home. The CC is getting very low. If this CC is cancelled, that's game. That's game then and there. He can't afford to lose it. He can't lose it. He's got a 3rd CC in the main. The base is getting low. Oh, God. It's got to go down. Ay, ay, ay. Forced to cancel. Oh, God. And, I mean, hey. I mean, there's a reason why you can make an argument that Clem has the best PvT in the world. He's looking very, very in control of this game and in control of the series. I mean, he punished ByuN so hard for the opener for the Proxy. ByuN is stuck on 1 base. Does catch a Stalker. And ByuN is double expanding. I mean, he has to. You can see on the production tab, he's got 2 CCs on the way. He has to double expand. He has to do something to come back in this game. And he's hoping that Clem makes mistakes. He's hoping that Clem overextends or is too passive. Oh boy. I tilted for ByuN. Not at all. I feel like tilted is more of a phrase like for like anger, I guess. Or yeah, not at all. But yeah, it's looking pretty devastating here for ByuN, and we'll see how he recovers. We shall see. We have Stim on the way, and we can move out, of course. There's no Starport, there's no Medivac, so there's no drop play, unfortunately. There's no drop play. There's no way for ByuN to really be active on the map here. So Clem, he can freely expand and get a 3rd. From what we can see here, he's not being too greedy. Clem is still playing very safe. Very safe. As Clem pokes in, runs into a tank. Heads into the main. Going for the add-ons. Picks off Sim. Or picks off a Tech Lab, I should emphasize. Gets an add-on, nothing too crazy. Again, ByuN's holding on 2 bases. At the same time, 3rd base has been thrown out for Clem. As behind this, Clem not going into Colossus, going into Storm. So 10 per Archives into Storm. We got Charge as a follow-up. Now, all that Clem has to do is contain. He doesn't have to push in on 2 bases. He just has to contain his opponent, keep ByuN on 2 bases for as long as possible, while Clem saturates his own 3rd base, gets a 4th base, takes up. Clem just has to calm down, Bobby, calm down. As Reapers are cleaned up, hey, they get 4 probes. It is some damage. He also forces back all the Stalkers. This does create an opening for ByuN to break out and to expand. Medevacs have finally arrived, and he is going for some drop play. He is spotted by the Observer, but looks like he spots the Observer. Let's go. So ByuN shuts down the Observer. At least Clem is now aware the drops are being active, and he's searching for the Medevacs. Uh-oh. He's looking. Oh, he barely does catch a glimpse. Yeah, he saw with the Zealots. But did he notice what he saw? Does he know what he saw? He has some reinforcements back at home. But the main base is exposed. A drop moves in. Clem out of position. But he will react in time. A couple of storms landing. Really just grazing the army. And again, ByuN is just forcing some supply to be kept at home to give himself a greater chance to be able to break out. It's still not going to be easy, though. And again, Clem does not have to push into the bases. Just has to chill. We can see ByuN attempting to expand. Does move out on the right-hand side. Clem collapsing on the army. Takes down the Widow Mines. Blinks on forward, going for the tank. Yeah, and he will do it. He will break through, takes out the tank, takes out the bunker. And from here, Clem is going to snowball out of control. I don't see him being stopped again. It was just a brutal start for ByuN. As he did mention, for ByuN to lose his own natural base, that was almost game then and there. Like, he would have to rely on Clem making mistakes. GG gets called, and Clem will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round of the group, to the winner's match. GG. Whew. GG, well played, and let's go. No hard feelings, ByuN. Less than 3. Less than 3. So Clem does take it again. Clem had just a really strong start in both Game 1 and Game 2. Winding it back here, as a reminder, what did we see? ByuN, he went for proxies. He went for hyper-aggression proxies in both Game 1 and Game 2. Game 1, ByuN basically went for a 2-base all-in, but Clem was being so safe, delaying his 3rd base, getting up to 3 gateways, and being hyper-defensive in Game 1, and succeeding and just excelling in that first game. Here in Game 2, it was a different story. Game 2, we saw that Clem punished the 2-rack Reaper. We had almost a base trade moments where ByuN, he moved out across the map with his Reapers, which meant he had nothing at home to defend. And he was able to get some probe damage. That's true. He got like 2 probe kills, maybe 3 probes. But that's all he got with the Reapers. Back at home, he lost his natural. Again, he was forced to cancel his natural. Those zones complete.
By Clem here at the SNB Esports Arena after a very quick series for the first best of 3 at the group stage. Now, I want to ask you, when it comes to that first game, you lost that Immortal early on, and then you saw ByuN coming in with the push. What was going through your minds?
Yeah, I got very nervous at that point because, of course, it's a massive blunder at this point to lose the Immortal like that. I just didn't pay attention. And honestly, I was a little bit nervous as well. But I was very scared when I lost that. And I saw he was just like going to my base. I was like, oh no, that could get very ugly, very bad. But then it kind of worked out nicely. The 2 High Templars that had no energy got caught. But it was kind of fine because I killed the 2 Cyclones and I morphed them into an Archon. And then the only High Templar who had energy like came back in the back and and then storm his army. So that worked out nicely in the end. But yeah, very scary.
It was very scary, and it was very close, but look, you still closed it out.
Well,
you
it was
still
scary.
got that 2-0 in the first best of 3 for yourself. Now, I want to ask you, you're playing your off race, you're playing Protoss versus Terran. Talk to me about that. Like, do you think you can take on any Terran player with your
Yes,
Protoss?
I would say yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been having better results with my PvT than my TvT over the past year or so since I've been playing Protoss against Terran. And honestly, I just really enjoy them, like playing Protoss as well against Terran. I think it's very fun. So I enjoy it. I enjoy practicing it, and I think I could take down anyone. But yeah.
Well, so far, you're proving that you can do exactly that. 2-0 in your first series against ByuN, and you'll move on to the next stage. But now we're going to head on over to the studio as we prepare ourselves for the second game in the group stage.
When it comes to Clem's PvT, and again, for those that maybe haven't been watching as of late, Clem, as I was saying before, he has beaten every Terran player in the world with his Protoss, except for one, and that is Maru. And the only reason why he hasn't beaten Maru is because they haven't played. Like they just haven't played each other. They just haven't lined up in such a way. That's why personally I was really looking forward to Star Zagora. For those that remember, initially in the initial announcement, Maru, he was gonna be at Star Zagora, but he ended up canceling, or he ended up giving up his slot. The reason for that is because when the final schedule was released for EWC and for GSL, it was all jam-packed, and Maru, he's been having some shoulder issues, and so he can't travel that much, 2 consecutively, like one after the other. So he chose not to travel to Star Zagora, not to travel to Bulgaria, to focus on resting and competing in GSL and getting ready for EWC. So Maru didn't go. But that's what I was looking forward to. I was like, I want to finally see Clem versus Maru PvT. We might see it here. We might see it here at EWC. That's what I would be looking forward to. Otherwise, against every other Terran, I do favor Clem. I do think that Cure would be a really nice match against Clem. It would be really close. We have seen Cure and Clem also go back and forth in PvT. But again, like for the most part, like Clem, I mean, as he said himself, like he's pretty confident with his Protoss. Regardless, with that, congratulations here to Clem, and we are going to be getting ready for our next series. I believe that's going to be Shin and Raynor, right? I believe Shin and Raynor are coming up next. It's going to be 3 series remaining. We have Shin versus Raynor, we have Classic versus Rogue, and Showtime versus Cure. I think those are the remaining matches, but I'll have to recheck the schedule as to what's coming up next. Let's have a look. Yes, so up next should be Shin versus Raynor, and Trigger versus Maru is going to be on the B stream. Right, we were discussing earlier about the B stream and talking about how, like, yo, there was no B stream during the play-in stage. I do agree that was kind of weird. In fact, the B stream should have been live then as well. But I believe the B stream is also ongoing, and the B stream is currently covering Solo versus Down. So the B stream, they're on Solo versus Down as we speak. And again, up next on the main stream is going to be the ZVZ between Shin and Raynor, which I'm looking forward to. Like, that's going to be a spicy one, Pat. It's going to be very spicy, very intense. I could see that going the distance. Again, I'm still a little bit torn that these are best of 3s, for sure. But the qualifying match is the best of 5s, which will be tomorrow. But I believe currently for the schedule, yeah, it is going to be 3 series left. It's going to be Shin versus Raynor, then it's going to be Cure versus Showtime, and then Classic versus Rogue. All the best of 5s will be tomorrow. Those are going to be the qualifying matches. Those are going to be tomorrow, and again, this is a 4-day event, so eventually we get into the quarterfinals, then into semis and grand finals thereafter. Oh boy. He shouldn't have taken risks with the proxy Raxes. Yes, I mean, I don't think it impacted the game too heavily in game 1 because it was less committed, because it was only 1 proxy Rax, but like game 2 was more brutal, right? With the proxy 2 Rax Reaper, like it was a lot more committed, and the punish was even more brutal as a result for ByuN. So he gambled quite a bit, for sure, did gamble. I missed the full match. It was, yeah, it was a fast series. You can check the VODs, of course. We are streaming also on YouTube, so VODs are available on YouTube right after. But you're just a really fast series, the fastest one so far. Clem PvT is so far. I mean, as I said before, you can make an argument that Clem has the best PvT in the world. You can make an argument for it. I don't think I would commit too hard to that statement, but regardless, here we have our updates. You can see here Clem in the qualifying match to advance to the playoffs, and Zan versus Solo are still mid-series. Shin Raynor mid-series? Question mark. Wait, what? My apologies. I thought we were. Wait, what? I thought we were casting it. Did you see that on the graphic? It showed. I think it showed Shin up 1-0 against Raynor. Was that a? Is that a mistake? It might have been an error on the graphic. Maybe I'm seeing things. It's possible. It's possible. I might be crazy. But otherwise, we should soon be going on a break here before our next match. So I'm just checking the stream. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, on the stream, on the stream graphic, it said Shin up 1-0 versus Raynor. I'm like, what? they haven't played yet. What's going on? But there we go. Coming up next, Shin and Raynor ZVZ. Let's go. Now, what I'm looking forward to about this is that, again, we'll get into it. But Shin and Raynor, they have some very intense, very dynamic ZVZ as well. It's going to be a crazy one. It might be another fast series. We'll see you guys soon after the break.